Hello, Bojo here. This party political broadcast on behalf of the One World Tory World King Party, and as you'll see, I've taken the vaccine, and I'm happy to say that there are no ill effects. It's DNA altering vaccine, I'm told, and well, as I stand here before you, you can see it's had no discernible effect upon myself. Now, I'd like to go now to our broadcast. I'm just going to switch over now to the full screen, and
Ray, let me guess. You have qualms about my proposal to compost asylum seekers and spread them over the fruit trees of Kent.
No, that's in the next manifesto. It's far worse. You let Carrie find out our nickname for her.
You mean Baroness Batshit knows we've been calling her...
So, speaking of Baroness Batshit, for this bit, I think... no, not that way. Let's do it this way. Next, on the British broadcasting, here we go. A word from David AttenBorg, who's also had the vaccination, speaking to Antonio Gitface.
And it started off, and people thought it was just cranky. It was just people who actually tree huggers, that sort of thing. But now we can see that actually our very lives depend upon finding solutions to these problems. Hello. The solutions can only come from international action. And that indeed has started. That's certainly my impression. And it's particularly impressive amongst younger people.
If I may interject here, and we'll hear from one of those younger people.
When I first heard about climate change, sorry, I can do it this way. When I first, she doesn't need the microphone. No, she doesn't, no. When I first heard about climate change, I could not believe more people were talking about it.
Okay, so now if we just go back to AttenBorg.
It's their world. It is the people, the teenagers today, who are really going to have to face the consequences of what we do now.
I must say I was extremely impressed by the movement of young people last year. Our generation, to a large extent, has failed. We are still on time to avoid the worst, but it is their generation that is now leading and telling us what to do. And
so what are they telling us to do? More from Greta.
I saw a woman talking about her dead son. I said, why are you not talking about climate change? There should be a lipstick called climate change. So it will always be on everybody's lips.
I must say, even when I talk with my granddaughters that are very young, I have now a lot to learn with them.
Indeed so. Well, and they are the great source of hope to me. And that has changed hugely in the last 10 years. Certainly it's changed over 20 years. I've been talking about this for a long, long time, and it started off and people thought it was just cranky. It was just people who actually tree huggers, that sort of thing. But now we can see that actually our very lives depend upon finding solutions to these problems, which are really piling up at such an intensity that we are beginning to feel, who can deny this change of the climate that's going on? Who can deny the existence of continents on fire?
Continents on fire. incontinence under fire by incontinence, if I may say, and more from Greta.
I come from Sweden. Has anybody been to Sweden? Well, Sweden is the Mecca of, well, it's just Mecca. That was a little joke. When I first heard about climate change, I could not eat, I could not sleep. I did not want to go to school. What was the point of learning my ABDs and 2 + 2 is 5 when I have climate facts?
More climate facts from David AttenBorg and old Gitface here.
Voices like yours are absolutely essential to make government understand that this is the moment to change course.
Yes, but it does take time, and young people are very impatient, and quite rightly so. I get a lot of correspondents who say, "What can we do? We keep making this case, but nothing seems to happen." We need a triumph somewhere soon where we can really demonstrate that nations have come together, have got a policy which is internationally agreed and which is going to take action. Because at the moment there is a huge tidal surge to get things done, but if you sit away from the levers of power, it doesn't look as though anything's happening. That's the trouble. And people are getting impatient. So I dearly hope that what's going to come out of COP in Glasgow next year really will have action, so that those politicians who've been wrestling over this problem will be able to say to young people around the world, look, we've done this, we've got this far, it's the first step, and we're going on. But for nothing to come out except words is very dispiriting. We need action. I've been talking about
action indeed, and I, as World King, will be chairing the COP26 in Glasgow, Jolly Jocko Land, as I call it. So in Jolly Jocko Land, we can sort out the problems in Bongo Land, and in a true Bullingdon spirit, we'll have a bit of bully on the way. Now, we'd like to refer more back to our ambassador of COP26 climate change, more from Greta. There's a surprise, more from Greta. A blank page, dare I say. And pre-vaccine, there's the COVID rule breaker, Dom Cummings, who Carrie can tell you what happened to dear Dominic.
Princess Nut?
Yes, Countess Cabbage Brain found out, and she made it very clear.
So I'm just going to go back to yours truly. Well, there you have it. I've been the World King. If you've been watching, thank you very much, and do please take the trouble to refer back to Comedy Unleashed, to the full Greta speech. The two old farts, Gitface and AttenBorg. Well, I've got no failures, of course, and well, signing off, and tally ho.